So if you couldn't tell from the opening clip, Mona and Amber are a pretty good combo and you can make them dish out some really strong burst damage. Now, I'm not going to mislead you, we were of course using Kazuha and Bennett there to get some extra damage going, but I wanted to show you guys the maximum potential from the get-go there and show you that they can really start deleting some characters, and there's some unexpected synergy between the two of them that allows them to do this. So we're going to be going over that. I feel like this is a combo that doesn't get discussed enough, so I wanted to point it to your attention, hopefully influence you to try something new. I'm not going to lie to you and say that this is the most meta thing in the universe, but it is pretty fun and fairly splashable into some other teams, so I wanted to point it out and hopefully inspire you to give it a try yourself. So let's go ahead and talk about this combo. First of all, I said there's some synergy between Mona and Amber. Well, what am I talking about? Well, first of all, we're mostly talking about their elemental burst. Mona's elemental burst, Stellaris Phantasm, whenever you cast it, it applies the illusory bubble to nearby enemies, which makes them wet and does the expected reaction with whatever is currently applied to them with the Hydro. And when that illusory bubble sustains damage, it gains the following effects. It applies an omen to the opponent, which gives a damage bonus. It also increasing the damage of the attack that caused it, which is important, and then it also removes the illusory bubble, dealing Hydro damage in the process. And the way you typically take advantage of this is typically you apply Hydro to an enemy, you use your elemental burst to wipe the Hydro away, doing a damageless vaporize reaction, and then you swap back to a pyro unit to apply pyro again, so when the illusory bubble does its damage, you get a very big vaporize on Mona's elemental burst that has a high modifier here, so you can deal a lot of damage with it on top of the damage bonus and whatnot. And the omen duration lasts for 5 seconds. The reason Amber can take advantage of this in a more special way is because of the fact that Amber's elemental burst lasts for 2 seconds, has a high total damage, and can also just help you proc that huge vaporize reaction. So you still need to apply the Hydro and then wipe it away with Mona's elemental burst, but when you do with Amber's elemental burst, the entire duration of Amber's elemental burst is going to be getting that damage bonus, meaning it's actually going to be dealing some pretty considerable damage for its damage output, because it's going to be getting that huge damage bonus on top of Mona getting a very big vaporize reaction. So these two paired together with the fact that their bursts are fairly spammable, having relatively low cost, means you can do this pretty often, and if not off of cooldown, and get a lot of burst damage in while you're using two other units like you normally would. Not to mention that the synergy doesn't really stop there, especially if you have a couple of Amber's constellations. Amber's C2 here, being able to remote detonate the Baron Bunny, is very important and can allow you to get some really big vaporizes with Mona, and if you have the C4, even more so. And the reason this is because they both have taunts, right? So enemies are going to be attracted to both of their taunts, and Mona is very good at applying Hydro with her taunt. So if you step back and apply Hydro with Mona's taunt, you swap back to Amber, and then you remote detonate both of the Baron Bunnies at once, they will both actually vaporize at the same time, dealing really good burst damage as well, and also taking some aggro away from the team. And this is pretty cool, and I actually like using it with some other units. And now I'm going to show you guys what this is like without the damage bonuses, and you're still going to see that this is some pretty considerable damage. So let's go ahead and show that. This is what it's going to look like without any of the buffs, without like the Bennett circle or the Kazuha buff or anything. You'll still see that this is pretty considerable damage. And we'll get him down with Amber here and wipe away with Mona. Wait just a second, get the elemental burst going, and you'll see that you're still doing plenty of damage. And if you really wanted to, during Amber's burst, you could swap to somebody like Xing Shou or Chong Yun and take advantage of that, because Amber's insane pyro application to deal some really big vaporizes and or melts during all of that. So that's pretty insane as well. That I just wanted to show that a little bit there. So yeah, you can see that these two are a pretty strong combo together. And my favorite part about this is that they're relatively splashable. If you have a couple team members that you already like pairing together, there's a good chance you could probably just put those into that team and get some extra burst damage, or utilize this combo in that way. I will say it is a little bit difficult to make sure pyro is over an enemy's head in a certain situation or two, but it's really not that big of a deal. You don't need Mona to do a huge vaporize. Yes, you're losing damage, but you're still doing plenty of good damage if you just use Mona's burst and Amber's burst together. That's still going to do some really solid damage, so you don't really have to worry about it that much. And you could even pair this in some sort of like electro charge team you're already using. So yeah, these two are a lot of fun together, and I personally really enjoy this team. They can be pretty darn fun, and I'm looking forward to investing a little bit more in my Amber to see if I can get some bigger vaporizes on Baron Bunny and stuff. And I just like to use this from time to time. I'm not going to say it's super meta or anything, but the burst damage is good, and if you can make it work, then you're going to be doing some really solid burst damage during your rotations, and hopefully influence you to use it yourself or something, or hopefully give you an idea for something else. But other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. My name's Blossoms, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.